to FrugalBC and our live stream, Algorand, Algo. Let's go. We are live and talking about all things Algorand today, and maybe looking at a little other crypto stuff too. Probably no surprise right now that crypto markets are just in the basement, to use a nice term. So, it's gonna be interesting times. And I had a video on my channel just recently kind of about how to handle this stuff. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. I really encourage you to go watch that video. Like, I knew it wouldn't be a huge breakaway hit on YouTube, but I think it's an important one because these are the times when you have to think long term, not short term. You really got to think long term, and that's something I've been emphasizing a lot. And now's the time that you really have to put that into play. When things are going well, it's like easy to say, "Oh, great, everything's great. I'm thinking long term," but now is the time when you really show whether you're thinking long term. So we're going to look at the charts today. We're going to go through the general crypto chart and see where Algorand stacks up in that. And then we're going to go look at time charts, look at the ASAs. That should be interesting. I haven't even looked at that before the show. And then we're going to talk about some news and take some questions. Remember, you can leave your questions in the chat and we will answer them live on the channel. And by the way, if you're watching, hit that like button and subscribe button, please. I appreciate that. Let's just go right into the charts. Here we go. So let's take a look, just looking at the top three. So Bitcoin really has been kind of wavering around this $28,000 to $32,000 range. Spent a lot of time in the 20s. A lot of us didn't think we would get there, but it's there. And Ethereum sitting around 2,000. That's been about, you can see it probably dropped below 2,000 at some point. And the big news, of course, the big news last week was the untethering or the unpegging of Luna and Terra, like pegged off the dollar, and like all this Terra, all this Luna just gone to it's just about zero. Not something that happens a lot. You don't see a coin drop that quickly and that precipitously, but pretty crazy, right? Just looking at these prices, everything is on. The way I look at this is everything is on sale. But you also have to be really careful. Again, not financial advice. I should probably play that. I always have that little disclaimer before my videos, but not necessarily in the live stream, so I can remember to say that. So I would stick with, if you are going to buy, I think that is a good attitude. Same thing with stocks, everything. Like when you have a market like this, it means they're on sale. Now, this might not be the bottom, but I can guarantee you that most of these projects are going to continue, and they're going to be well above the price they are now. So I think generally speaking, they're all good by now. You have to be really careful which ones you pick. I would stick with the top coins, maybe top 30. So here's Algorand, and Algorand is at 47 cents right now. And you saw with FIFA news, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, mostly because I didn't have a live stream for a couple weeks. I was sick last week, and then I've been trying to catch up ever since, so I didn't get to one on Friday either. Let's just look at the charts here, because it didn't follow the same pattern all of them did. And let's zoom. We're on 7 days. Yeah, this was right after the FIFA news, and it got as high as, I've heard it says 65 here. I thought I remember getting it into the 70s, but that was a little peak when everything else was crashing, and then it kind of came back down. It was as low as, under 40 cents according to this. I never saw it that myself, but it was. I'd seen it in the 40s a lot, and like I said, it's 47 right now. So yeah, again, and some people might not agree with me, but I think this is a good time to buy Algorand, because usually when the market is down and everyone is freaking out, that's usually the best time to get in, because when downturns are where you make your money. You don't make your money in the upturns. You make them in the downturns, because you put in more and you're taking a risk. That's what investing is. You're taking a risk. So keep that in mind. But let's just go over to the ASAs. Yeah, welcome everybody who's joined, by the way. We are going to go over to tiny chart. Sorry, just having a little mint here. Yeah, so in terms of liquidity, Algo is higher than Yieldy now. The Cosmic Gold right up there too at number 3. And boy, that is some low price Yieldy if you're into that. Algo, I don't know if you know, is another project. I did a video a while back. I haven't followed up with it. I tried to sell an NFT on, and I didn't sell it. And that's actually been one of the things I've been talking about. I was talking with someone on Twitter about this, that it's hard to find good content about the strategies of NFTs, like what makes a good NFT project. What's the best way to market it? What's the best way to set it up? Should you always have a series? What about release schedule? It just seems really inaccessible right now. But it's interesting that they're doing more liquidity than Yieldy right now. And I got a question about Yieldy, so we'll talk about that when we get to that section. And yeah, Cosmic Gold. I don't know if you guys are. They were. I was actually supposed to interview them last week, and the founder got sick, and just like I got sick later, so we're gonna try to do it this week, and that should be fun. I always like talking to these project founders because I'm just always so curious how these things are to set up. Yeah, Go Mint. That's one I haven't covered on. I haven't covered the Mint platform. I can't even think of Algo Mint. Haven't covered that one yet. I don't know if I will. Maybe Zone. I would love to do a video on Zone, but I cannot use their platform. I don't understand what's happening. Yeah, the coin's down a little bit. First I couldn't log in, but then I tried it on Firefox and I got it to work, but then I couldn't get the game to play. So, which you can only play chess on it right now. Are you guys playing Zone? Are you liking it? Like, did you guys have that problem? I don't know why I'm having this. Maybe it doesn't like Brave. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, and then Planet up a little bit, Chips up a lot, pretty decent amount. So you're not really seeing. It's interesting, at least today. You're not really seeing those same patterns. Although, if you look at the 7-day chart, you can see a lot of downswing over 7 days. Just kind of looking on the right-hand side here. Not all of them, but pretty much all of them. All of them. Planet went up over time, but most of them went down. So that's the charts today. Let's see. And guys, remember to leave questions in the comments. I'm always happy to answer those. And we've got some. I got some over I asked some people on my post to leave some questions. So we got one of those there, and I'll kind of go through some of the things that people said this week. Well, let's look at the news, and I know that I am way behind on this, and I apologize for that because of. By the way, if you guys love Algorand, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Yeah, so I don't know if you saw this news, but Algorand is FIFA's official blockchain platform. Sponsors World Cup. So this is great news, by the way. I know I'm super behind on this, but I still want to cover it because I think it's really neat. And Algorand is going to be FIFA's official blockchain platform. So if you guys know soccer, FIFA is like the big organization behind it. It's a huge organization. Soccer is huge around the world. Not so much even in the U.S. it's starting. It actually became pretty popular. I don't know if that's waning a little bit. I don't hear as much about it as I used to. I used to be really into it. I don't have a lot of time to watch anymore, but this might make me want to watch more. I posted before, by the way, that Gotham FC is sponsored by Algorand, and that's pretty cool too. That's like a women's soccer team. So I think there'll be some matches you'll be able to watch right online. And the jerseys look really, really cool. So I might buy one just because it would be cool to have an Algorand jersey. Smart move by them. And yeah, they talk about being carbon negative, which we all knew. By the way, really interesting, even without the carbon negative, Algorand as a whole, and this is something one of the engineers told the Mooch on his Mooch FM podcast, the whole blockchain uses like the equivalent of the energy usage of 10 households. That is not a lot. So how's that for a comparison? Now, I've talked about like the issues with Bitcoin and its environmental impact, and why I think that's usually it's not like you should not pay attention to it. I think it's important, but I just don't think it's fair. It's fair in how people pull that out, but not other things. There's so many other things that use way more consumption, like people flying all over the world for the fun of it. You're using like a ton of carbon to do that. That's really destructive for the planet. So if you care about that, you better not be flying too much. Don't be talking about Bitcoin if you're flying all crazy. Anyway, enough about that. Getting back to this, yeah. So it's going to be the official blockchain supported wallet, which I think is really really cool. So any non-fungible NFTs, any NFT collections or blockchain-based initiatives, including tickets, will be supported on the platform. Yeah, so this is one of the uses of NFTs that I think is really cool, and I really think you're going to see more of this. Why? Well, if they were going to use Ethereum, they have to convince the average folk that, hey, use this Ethereum thing. Oh, by the way, you're gonna have to pay these inordinate amount of gas fees to get your ticket in on the Ethereum blockchain, or we can do it on Algorand and it's really cheap. Like, or if they did it on Ethereum and they didn't want to pass that on, they would have to absorb it or bake it into the price, making all the ticket prices much more expensive. So I really truly feel like we're going to see way more of this stuff in the future. I think because Algorand it's so easy to use. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. I've read through this before, but oh yeah, so the sponsorship is limited in North America and Europe for this year's tournament. And they say there's likely another blockchain partner in Asia and potentially Latin America. Well, I don't know what that would be. I mean, there's other ones that aren't as bad as Ethereum, but I just don't know of a better one. I don't for stuff like this, for like, especially if we're going to do this kind of, how would you say, more application based, less about like owning a coin. I don't know what else it could be besides this. It just works so well. Apparently, the China-based Ant Chain, which is part of Alipay's Ant Group, signed a 5-year partnership with UEFA. I don't know. Maybe that's a good one. I don't know anything about it, so there could be other ones that are good. I just don't know of any other blockchain that works as well as Algorand. None that I've like tested out and tried. So that's just my 2 cents. Hey guys, remember you can leave a question in the comment and I will answer it on the live stream. So not the only one I want to go to today. Let's see, what was the other one? Oh, this is good stuff. So remember, I did a video a while back about how Algorand was partnering with LimeWire. Well, now HiveMind and Algorand have acquired Napster. So this is all going back to my youth, to my teenage and early 20s days. So Napster was kind of the original file sharing, and LimeWire was too. So it's funny that they're acquiring all of these. It kind of cracks me up. So Emmy Lovell has been named the interim CEO of Napster. She was the chief strategy officer. I don't really care. HiveMind is a crypto-based focused investment firm in New York. I just really wonder what I don't know. I mean, these could end up being really, really cool. Yeah, here they're talking about LimeWire too. And that LimeWire was more like you kind of got everything, not just files, not just music files. So I don't know. Yeah, they even mentioned the nostalgic Web 1 and Web 2 brands. Well, those seem securely into Web 1. They don't seem like Web 2, because Web 2 is about social, and I don't really see much of a social aspect there. Maybe I'm wrong. That's not the way I used it anyway. And then they're just, there's not a lot to it besides that they've released, but I think it's interesting. I just don't know. I'm not really getting excited about that. Like the stuff I'm gonna get excited about is like this partnership with FIFA. I think that's huge, and I know, like I said, I know I'm kind of late to the party on that one because we didn't have a live stream for a couple weeks, but that to me is just giant news. And when you see more stuff like that, it's going to make Algorand strong. So I want to share one more with you guys, and I think this one it's weird. I'm gonna be honest. It's like good news couched in bad news, if that makes sense. So this one is from, I'm gonna file back up. Yeah, this one is from the Daily Hodl, but they're sharing a video from, did it say the name in here? Yeah, from Coin Bureau. So Coin Bureau is a big YouTuber. I might actually do a reaction video to this because I think there's enough to talk about. So he's talking about some of the challenges. He says the first one is Algorand's apparent lack of user adoption. Almost every contract cryptocurrency I've covered recently has seen exponential growth in its user base over the last few months alone. This exponential growth isn't as apparent on Algorand. I think it's had pretty good growth, but yeah, maybe not the same as other. But actually, I kind of think that's a feature, not a bug. Slow and steady a lot of times wins the race versus a hot flash in the pan and then boom, gone. I reckon that this can be chalked up to the fact that Algorand wallets. Okay, this is the one that I'm gonna like have an aneurysm when I read this. I reckon that this can be chalked up to the fact that the Algorand wallets used to interact with its dApps, decentralized applications, aren't nearly as familiar or user-friendly as other browser extension wallets like MetaMask. Are you freaking kidding me? Have you guys used MetaMask? It is a hot mess. I mean, it's such a pain in the butt. They have actual courses in how to use MetaMask because it's so complicated. Compared to Algorand wallets, which has been the easiest ones that I've ever used. I mean, as I've told you guys, like I didn't start out to make an Algorand channel. I just ended up focusing on Algorand because everything works so easily, including the wallet. I mean, you literally show up, you hit connect wallet, and boom, you're in. I don't know what could be more user friendly than that compared to MetaMask, which just still baffles me. There's so many options and things you got to do with it. Are you guys feel like this? Because I just think this is crazy. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I'm definitely going to do a reaction video on this because it just seems insane to me. All right. Also, doesn't help that Algo's price has consistently underperformed, and that ties into the second challenge. I do agree with that. That is true. It has underperformed. You know, it's not the token you're going to get rich quick. Like, it's not going to happen. But I actually, again, think that's kind of a feature, not a bug. I mean, obviously, if you're holding a bunch of this, you want it to go up, but I'd rather it stay steady and then all the yield stuff can really kick in. Well, of course, I wouldn't mind it going up either, but I think it's going to be a slow burn, and that's okay because it's really functional. It's the most functional of any of the blockchains that I've tried so far. Everything else, I mean, God, I tried to do like Sunday swap, and that was just a total disaster. It's just a nightmare. So I don't get it, but let's keep going. Algorand's tokenomics still aren't all that terrific, and it seems NF accelerated vesting for Algo's early investors hasn't helped with Algo's price action at all. To make things worse, supply continues to hit the market. In fact, in the January presentation, the Algorand Foundation's former CEO, Sean Lee, actually celebrated the fact that Algo's supply increased from 1.4 billion to over 6.3 billion alone in 2021 alone. Yeah, but now that means it's pretty close to running out because aren't there like 10 billion total? I should probably know this. I'll look that up later, and if I'm wrong, I'll run a correction or something. I'm pretty sure it was 10 billion total though, which means that there's not much left. So it's going to be a little more scarce then, isn't it? Coin Bureau hosts also the problems are exacerbated because there's no sufficient demand for Algo. I think, well, obviously that's going to change because it's focused on catering to institutions and institutional investors instead of retail users and investors. I just don't think that's true. I don't see that. Algorand has been trying to increase its institutional catering to Michelin star levels with its overtly aggressive push. What does that even mean? Doesn't everybody appreciate that? I mean, I'm sure there's people that don't care about the environmental aspect, but if you do, that seems like a good thing. I don't see how that's catering to institutionals to Michelin star levels. I don't know what that means. No, I really do. I won't go into it further, but I really feel like I feel like that's worthy of doing a reaction video too. All right. Hey guys, oh, people here. Hey, what is up, Plino 345? Oh, Billy asked about price prediction. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's get into the questions. I'll start right with Billy, price prediction. So you're probably going to be disappointed with my answer because I usually don't do price predictions. What I will say in general though is that I feel that Algorand is going to be a long, slow burn. So don't expect it to like spike overnight. You know, if we did have that period where it shot up to $2 and then it kind of came back down, but I don't feel like we're going to get, you're not going to see this thing shoot off like Ethereum or Bitcoin. And that's okay. The slow burn is going to be good, and it's going to keep things more steady, and that will keep you using projects longer. And so that's what I think about that. I think that's a useful way to look at it. You know, I guess that's kind of the problems I had with that guy's video, or at least what he said in the video, because I don't know if that's. I just don't think that's a useful way to think about it. You know, I really feel like it's kind of a slow, steady burn. It'll go up over time, especially as as the supply starts diminishing. That'll make a big difference. So, but yeah, it's going to be bad for a while. That I'll tell you too. It's going to be bad for a while. It's going to be rough. But you know what? When it's, and I said this in my video last week, and you guys should all go see that. I highly recommend you watch that video from start to finish, because this is the time where you make money. Uh, and it's fine in Bitcoin, Ethereum. You can make money too. Everything is down, everything is on sale, and you're going to get a deal. Now, some projects aren't going to survive this bear market, that's for sure. And I don't think most of them are going to be in the top 30. The ones that are in the top 30, probably top 50 will probably be fine. You never know. And you have to think about it that way. But with all the partnerships that Algorand has, I don't see it like, going to zero, as they say, which generally speaking, by the way, is not really possible except for something like Luna, where you have just this crazy. By the way, it still didn't go to 0 0, but it went to effectively zero. I mean, it's like point. It went from like being double digits in dollars to less than a penny. That's effectively zero. But you're just not going to see with these bigger projects that have been around a while. You're just not going to see that kind of drop, because generally speaking, just because that's not what there's so many people invested that it would take some huge event like your stable coin destabilizing. I mean, I don't know, what would that be if the blockchain just stopped working in Algorand? That would do it. That'd probably do it. Like if it just stopped working and they never got it working again. I don't know how that would work, but that would probably crash it to zero. So there's ways, but it's pretty unlikely. Anyway, all ipso facto, all around to say that basically now is generally a good time to buy. Now I'm going to go to E4 had commented earlier on my post asking for questions. He said, "Are you diamond handling your algo and ASAs through this S storm? You got to be PC for the algos." Yeah, basically yes. I believe not only am I diamond handing, but I'm also picking up more assets. I think now's the time to do it. I'll tell you a little story, and this is in my video on Monday too. But in 2020, March 2020, when everything crashed, well, I kept buying into stuff. And you know what? My net worth shot up a lot after the market turned back around. And it's hard. It's not easy. You look at this, I mean, you see your money amount going down, and that is, it gets you in the stomach. It sucks. But let me tell you, you have to decouple the emotions, from this. You can't just have your emotions that guide you on this stuff. You have to be solid. You have to think through this stuff and think 5 years down the road. Think 10 years down the road. And 10 years down the road, you imagine what Algorand might be worth, or Bitcoin, or Ethereum. I don't think Ethereum's going away. I just think it's going to be used less. I think blockchains like Algorand will be used more. That's what I think. I could be wrong. And so E4, he asked a little more. He said, "Okay, you're probably already planning to cover this, but just in case, what are your targets for algo accumulation through the bear market?" and through potential deeper capitulation. And will you be queuing other ASAs at these prices? And he's going to go on and talk about yielding. We'll talk. Well, it goes on to say the Yieldy team seems to be making moves in a positive direction on several fronts, and fundamentals seem strong. Do you have any thoughts on accumulating Yieldly, especially in these moments where we dip under 0.002 cents or 0.002? So 0.2 of a cent. Thank you for sharing your insights. Yeah, that's a good question, and let me take it in pieces. So yeah, as far as targets, I'm like right now is way off the all-time high, or even like it's even off like the 90-day average. We're in very low territory. So basically, I'm buying. I'm buying everything. I bought more Bitcoin. I bought more Ethereum. Wait, did I? No, I bought Solana. I bought more Solana. I bought Bitcoin. I bought more Solana, and I bought some Algorand. And basically, I'm just doing all my DeFi projects. I'm not necessarily buying more. I'm buying more Algorand and then feeding that into the system, however it works out. I've been a big fan of Algo Fund lately. Like they got some really cool stuff on there. Right now, I'm farming a pair Algorand nerd pair for like today. It was down to like 1,300%. It was as high as like 2 something. I mean, that's crazy. You got to take advantage of this stuff when it comes. So I'm not really buying ASAs per se, but I've got a number, I've got all these DeFi projects that I'm working. So I am accumulating. But what I'm buying is I'm buying Algorand. And by the way, a little secret, I am not in governance. I broke governance to take advantage of some incredibly high yields. And so a little fun fact that I'm breaking that I'll probably on the live stream that I'll probably talk about later, I am out of governance. So buy governance. Yeah, what else did we get this week? Otherwise, feel free to leave any questions in the comments. I will, as long as you guys got questions, I'll keep doing the live stream till my voice goes hoarse. Yeah, long term. Sorry, I'm just reading through these to see if. Oh, someone asked, can you stake on Para and what's the APY? This was Messi Leo. I'm guessing that was a Leo Messi reference, the soccer player. Ties right back into that FIFA stuff, right? Unless I'm incorrect, pretty much staking is gone, although I've heard now there are some places that are doing it again, so I might have to look into that. Jeremy Lalia said, are you still in Yieldy? And basically, yep, I'm still using it. Big on the Alchemon Yieldy stuff and a little bit on the Cosmic. So I haven't jumped into the other ones. I don't think I will. Let's see. Well, someone said of as their favorite Algo YouTuber. That's pretty cool. Zach sorry. Thank you for that. Oh yeah, Lai said Algorand is so uncovered by mainstream media. Need further push for wider awareness. Well, I agree. It does get covered. I can't say it doesn't, but the more the better, I guess. Yeah, utility is important, and Algo provides huge use case. This is what Mr. Mann said. Yeah, agreed. That's what I'm saying. This whole live stream, like it's just. It just works. Like, so I'm still like the person who said that guy who said that like the wallets are harder to use than MetaMask. Like, are you serious? Can you tell me more on earning algo yield with Tiny Man? Oh yeah. Oh, that would take too long to explain. I think I have videos on that. And then someone kept bugging me about timestamps. Like, come on, dude. Those are like, yeah, I do like to do those when I can, but only if I have a video where it really makes sense to do it. Because it is kind of, there's a whole extra set of steps you have to do that. Oh, yeah. And someone was asking about governance. And yeah, it's really low. It's really low for this time. I mean, you're making like under 2% last I checked. I wonder if that's live. I'll just look that up really. Stats. Yeah, let's go look at that together. You know, I do the governance. I'm pretty bullish on Algo. Yeah. Um, yeah, put you on the screen. I'm bullish on Algo too. I just decided I didn't care about governance this time. I mean, at some point, it's like, are you really? It's like, does your vote really count? Right? I mean, yeah. Right now, it's at 7.66% total. So that's projected out through the year, but your period reward is under 2%. That's the lowest it's ever been. And I showed this right, yeah. And this will change. As you can see, the governors have slowly but surely going down now. As you know, the period is coming up in June. I will still cover it, even though I'm not in. It's the first 2 weeks of June, and so about middle of June, you will see this number drop off a cliff. But I don't think it's. I just don't think it's going to be enough to be worth it. And I feel like I said, I feel like your vote just doesn't count because everybody who is all the big whales, they just take the thing over. So that's that. But yeah, I am bullish on Algorand overall too. So yeah, no, I think it's good. I think Algorand is just going to be here to stay because it's so useful. But fair enough. So is beta. Okay, now I gotta explain this reference going way back to the VCR days. So Betamax and VHS were two competing formats for videotapes, and Beta was superior in sound and video quality, but for whatever reason, VHS caught on. I think it might have been a matter of distribution. So, the best technology doesn't always win. I think most of the time it does, but not always. So, do keep that in mind. But that being said, I think we have a good thing with Algorand. I think it's going to be good for the ecosystem. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of running out of stuff. You guys have any other questions before I go? I'm just trying to see. I'm going back a ways because I haven't had a live stream in a while. I'm just seeing if anyone else had. Oh yeah, Alistair Health said, "Is it not worrying that 40% of a currency is tied up in governance?" I gotta remember what I said for that one. Well, I know it's a good thing to have a higher total locked value. The more you have that, the better, because it means more people are locked into the network. It's that whole network effect thing. So that's pretty good. So that's kind of an important point, and that was something I had to look up. I didn't entirely understand that. Oh yeah, and I found out someone asked me about node operating, and I didn't even realize that Algorand has these nodes, but they don't incentivize them in any way. Like you don't get any rewards for running a node. No, you do in some other things like Townstar. You can get Gala Games. You can get a Gala node, but they're extraordinarily expensive for what you get, and so that's something to consider. Okay, well, guys, I don't know if you got anything else. Kind of going once, going twice. If you got any other questions, otherwise we will cut this off because I don't think there's any more. Oh yeah, I just want to bring up one more thing that someone brought up. This goes back to how I told you guys to be mindful of short-term thinking. So I did a couple videos on the NFT documentary. I'm drawing a blank on it now. You know which one I'm talking about. Geez, man, well, you know what I'm talking about, the NFT documentary that came out a while back. I did a couple reaction videos, and I said that when I was talking about NFTs, I thought games were probably the most logical application for them. And someone said, "Oh, but what about Axie Infinity? It sucks." It's like, yeah, right. There's a game now that it sucks. So NFTs are bad forever. No, I just get sick of like shaking my head at this stuff. It's like, no, you got to understand, like, it's the technology, and there's just because the technology might not be perfectly applied now, doesn't mean it won't in the future. Like, look at the early version of Web 1. The internet was, it was kind of a toy. I mean, there wasn't much you could do with it in the early days. It was kind of ridiculous. I remember going on the web the first time in 1997. I was a senior in high school. I'll show you how old I am. And it was like you kind of got on. You're like, I don't know what to do with this. What's the point of this? Obviously, the internet is central to our lives today. I kind of felt the same about social media. It just seemed like sort of a silly thing to do for fun. Then, it became an entire industry. And Web3 is going to be the same way. I think NFTs are going to be the same way. Probably the best applications are yet to come. I don't think we've found that balance yet. Right now, a lot of games that employ NFTs are kind of like little money making schemes, and they don't have to be, though. Like, it could just be as simple as, oh, I play Fortnite. When I buy a skin, it's actually an NFT, and I can sell it later. I think that's pretty cool, right? Like, it doesn't have to be this whole money, this whole money ecosystem where people are trying to get rich playing it. So there's a balance to be found, and I think eventually they'll find it. We have stuff like FIFA partnering with Algorand. I think it signals a bullish trend in that direction. So anyway, that's my thought, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate everyone coming on the stream. If you haven't hit the like button or subscribe yet, I'd highly recommend you do that. I appreciate that a lot. Again, thanks so much for watching. I couldn't do it without you guys. And as always, we'll see you in the future.